ETH Foundation just sold massive amounts of ETH. Why, Vitalik? Why? This is around the blockchain. Why? Have you not hit the like button yet? Because we got 4 fantastic guests on today. We're going to get right into it. In the green square, we got Moonin Papa. Moonin Papa. Well, one day, we'll learn the genesis of that name. How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Always a fantastic time. You check out his content at over there, Gare Soloway's group as well. Always putting out great stuff. Thank you, Moonin Papa. Also on today, we have Doug Hype. It looks like someone put Doug in the corner. Doug, I thought no one put Doug in the corner.
Look, baby. All right. I'm on vacay right now at the family retreat in the cabin in the woods in Wisconsin, baby. So look at this, man. We're going to be, this is the home and heart of America, baby. I'm reporting straight from here. I got my Packer gear on. I got my Carry the G beer. I got my Danish Kringle, baby. This is Americana right here, baby. Speaking from the heart. I'm ready to go, baby. We got some of our good buddies on the show tonight. I'm ready to freaking go.
All right. In the Aaron Rodgers hat wear, not that Kelsey. You know what we're talking about. Also on today, we have Flu.
Yeah, baby.
He's repping the hat from Texas. Flu, I'm actually also from Texas, from H-Town, home of Mike Jones, who, you're shaking your head. Does that mean San Antonio? Dallas? You might be muted.
Let's go. Wouldn't be a show without a little bit of technical difficulties. I'm from Dallas, grew up in Dallas, but I live in Fort Worth now. So, Dallas, Houston, we don't get along too well.
Well, you know what? I do like the Dallas Cowboys. My favorite player was the crack smoker, wide receiver. All right. Also on today, we have, he's shaking his head. He knows it's true. We have Eric Carlson. We love Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin, he's a lot better now, folks. He's turned his life around. That's why we bring up this example. Eric, what was your favorite I would say 90s, 2000 football team?
Oh, I'm a Bears fan. So me and Doug got some beef for sure. But no, Brian Urlacher is my all-time great that I watched. And then, of course, R.I.P. Dick Butkus, another legendary linebacker. So,
yes.
But I'm a Bears guy for sure.
Yeah, the second best name in all of sports. The number one belongs to a NASCAR race driver. First name is the same, last name's Trickle. But we're not going to get into that. I don't want to get demonetized today. All right, let's talk about the ETH Foundation selling. Yes, his real name's Dick Trickle. I just said it. All right. Well, the ETH Foundation sold 1,700 ETH over the weekend, folks. It comes out to $2.7 million. They're known to periodically sell to cover costs, but they're also known to try to catch tops, folks. They caught the top 2021, sold right around, I believe, $4,700, $4,900 there. The sale that they initiated most recently, they got in at $16.11 a coin. I looked 5 minutes before we went live. We're back down to $15.80. So, it's down a little bit from that levels, but not a huge amount, not, hundreds of dollars by any means. But over the weekend, Vitalik did the same thing. It looks like Vitalik sold 1,000 ETH. That was worth $1.6 million. And over the last 2 months, that ETH address has sold $7 million worth of Ethereum. We're looking at 4,400 Ether there. And as of the time of writing, Ethereum Foundation has not given any reasoning or rationale about why they are selling lately. Now, Moonin Papa, I mean, when the ETH Foundation sells, just in a kind of a boring period, we're not at the low lows, we're not at the high highs, we're kind of in the middle. When the ETH Foundation sells, does that mean anything to you?
Not when it's this small of an amount. Just to put in perspective, back in May, just this year, they sold $15,000 when the price of Ethereum was at about $1,900. So, I mean, that's a massive amount of Ethereum. So I would imagine that of a foundation, I'm really close to just doing this because I have no idea what the Ethereum Foundation really does, but I know they probably have costs that they have to pay for. Now, Vitalik selling his own stack, that's another thing. And I don't know if he's being spooked by what's happening with the Israel-Palestine conflict right now or whatever, but the fact is that everyone can see everyone's business on the blockchain. So when people are going to be making these big sell-offs, it will spook the market, especially when there's already drama and turmoil in the overall larger macro markets.
All right. Very, very well said, especially all the, things happening recently. Now, Doug hype. I know, we have other coins that we may like, Doug, but I see you rocking the Nakamigas. I see you rocking talking about a lot of coins that are compatible with EVM. So I want to ask you, does the ETH Foundation, when they sell, does that make you less of a long-term holder for Ethereum? I'm saying the 5, the 10, the 15-year plan.
Well, you got to understand, first of all, the perspective that I'm giving you comes from the Packers version of Taylor Swift. Okay, you're going to see me in the booth. You're going to see me repping the Cheesehead. You're going to see me repping Cheesehead TV, who I work with. And this is the thing, guys. Flooz, who's here right now, he knows how a blockchain becomes successful. What you do is you sell off things and you give out tons and thousands of dollars of grants, and then you just drink yourself silly. In the VIP room, baby. You know what I'm saying? You give out grants here, give out grants there. This is not a reference to any specific blockchain, but if you're giving out grants, people can build on you, and then you don't even have to be responsible or do anything, really. You just like make a bunch of videos, you promise things, and then you just go in the VIP room and you just celebrate, baby.
All right, Eric Carlson, I'm just going to go. You get a rebuttal. We need you getting in here. Well, what's your rebuttal? We don't even have to ask about ETH. What are your rebuttal to what Doug just happened to say? Oh, yep, it was deep state. Roger Goodell's taking you down.
I think he's becoming a Packer fan.
I think it was Goodell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Goodell took me out. It was a conspiracy against the Bears to keep the oldest franchise down for forever. So, anyways, so in response to Doug's, just letting people build on top of ETH and kind of doing their thing, I actually kind of can't really rebut too much. It's, the more successful blockchains, they build a good base layer, and it just has to be operable, and then people can build on top, and then it's going to create the volume, and it's going to create the value on top of the network. That's what's going to happen. So, some do it better than others. Ethereum, it works, but it's expensive. Cardano, it works, and it's just getting better and better and better, but it just doesn't have maybe as much functionality as ETH at this point, but it's getting there actually pretty quickly. And then you've got something like Solana, which promises the world and then just has outages every other day once the volume starts, picking up. So it's all about, what's getting built on top, what kind of value you're actually bringing to the people who want to use your blockchains. And so I don't think that this really has any bearing on the value of ETH long-term at all. So.
All right. Now, Flu, we're going to go to you here. Now, I know you want to bring up the Cowboys. We're not going to bring up the Cowboys. I used to be I was a fan, back in the day. But I want to talk to you about the recent selling and maybe why. So it seems like there's maybe two choices here. It is just regular maintenance, just regular bills, expenses, just regular selling, or maybe there's a prediction of a macro downturn, especially given the past weekend's events. I mean, what do you think the ETH Foundation is thinking right now? It's just regular maintenance, regular selling. Or maybe, World War III around the corner here.
So a couple things. One, Solana hasn't went down for a few months. So that's one thing to kind of rebut that one. But it doesn't make me less of a long-term holder. And if Vitalik wears gray sweatpants this season, I am max fucking bidding, right? Because that's going to boost the price right now.
That'll be a very long candle.
Right. It's going to be a huge candle. Also, if we really put these things into perspective and we consider Vitalik's natural male growth enhancement budget to be a part of regular business operations, then honestly, I just think he's doing what's best for Ethereum as a whole.
All right. Great stuff there. One more point at the end. All right, let's go ahead, Flu.
I apologize. As Luigi D'Anorio from Ava Labs said the other day, $3 million isn't even a lot of money.
Everything is relative. Everything to Jay Powell, it probably isn't. To Elon Musk, to me, 5 chain links a lot. I only got 3.2. All right, well, let's talk about Sam Altman on Rogan. Some people call him Sam Altman. I call him Sam Altman because he just kind of makes sense. But he was just on there and this past week and voiced his concerns about crypto regulation in America. I'm going to throw out just a couple quotes here. First one from Sam. There are many things that I'm disappointed that the U.S. government has done recently, but the war on crypto, that's the thing that makes me quite sad about the country. Rogan responds, the real fascinating crypto is Bitcoin. To me, that's the one I think has most likely possibility of becoming a universal viable currency there. Sam's immediate response to Joe Rogan saying, man, I really like Bitcoin. This Bitcoin's awesome. Sam very quickly pivoted back to WorldCoin. Well, I hope start a project called WorldCoin a few years ago, so I've got to learn more about the space. I'm excited about it for the same reasons. But I think the idea that we have a global currency that is outside of control is super logical and is an important step there. So, Moonin Papa, I got to get your 2 cents here. Is Sam Altman, is he a good representative for crypto? I mean, the guy is certainly bright.
He may be very smart, but smart doesn't translate well when it comes to the statements that he made. I think it's it's hilarious that he pivoted to his own coin after Joe Rogan made a profound statement about Bitcoin. I think it sends a signal that he's there for a reason, for sure. Personally, I do like using ChatGPT. I think it's a fascinating product. But as far as WorldCoin goes and Sam Altman's character, there's an agenda there. There's always an agenda. But I don't get good, happy vibes from Sam Altman, especially when you start throwing around, well, we should just have one world currency. That to me is just like, ding, 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 ding. Like that's a problem. That could be, that gets my spidey sense going, we'll say.
Who would give you happy vibes?
For sure.
Who would give you happy vibes? What's the JRE guest you would like to see up there?
He would be super boring, I'm sure. But Charles Hoskins, I'm a fan of ADA.
Let me give you a rebuttal that
actually,
he
Charles
would not
Hoskins,
be
like the guy who played Smee from Hook. I would much rather see him instead of Charles Hoskinson.
Well, there's nothing to shout out to Hook there. My only rebuttal: Charles would not be very boring on there, and the reason why, he's a falconer. That's a good 45 minutes right there. All right, Doug Hype. I'm gonna ask you the same thing, by the way. Well, what is Sam's motivation for appearing on this? Was it just a champion cryptocurrency? Was it a push OpenAI? Was it a push Y Combinator back in the day? Why do you think he was on there?
I'm actually going to quote the great philosopher Hannah Hughes right now. And it's like the key here is the key to crypto is to be Tony Montana. Look, you say, you're trying, you're just literally like throwing darts at the bad guy. Okay. Like somebody's got to be the bad guy. Altman's being the bad guy. He's shilling his own stuff, but he's also trying to like help crypto at the same time. Like, have you ever noticed that I mentioned Tony Montana on nearly every show? Why? Because everyone in crypto on one hand is promoting themselves, but they're also, if they know what they're doing, helping other people. And that's what we do. We have our own business or the things that we care about. And then we try to like relate and show other people that are doing great things too, if you're smart, right? So, it's a perfect situation for Joe Rogan because it's going to make people more infuriated, hate crypto more, and just drive more hate. I mean, if he was actually smart, if Joe Rogan actually had a cell in his brain, he'd have Hoskinson on and all these people that are actually highly intelligent. I mean, when we were just at Rare Evo, Noah Wellcoin talking, all these people are doing amazing interviews with Charles. And he was giving great insight into the space, what Web3 is all about, what he wants to build. And it made people flood over and just want to hang out with him and Cardano, right? That we need more of that in the space, of that good-natured ability, right? At the same time, I guess we do have to have the bad boys of the world. We have to have people that put cheese heads on their head. You know what I mean? Like, think about this. Travis Kelce was complaining about the coverage that his new girlfriend was getting when he's the person that made it happen in the first place. And he used to have his own reality show. So the world's a circle. It's upside down. Like, who's to blame? I don't know. When you see somebody yelling wolf all the time, they're probably having some kind of agenda. But, Joe Rogan needs to have more crypto people on that know what they're talking about. Maybe CoffeeZilla, whatever, all these people, and figure it out. Because just having some random dude talking about getting their eyeball scanned and everything might scare people away a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I wear these shades, baby. So, like, Altman can't get me. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. The alt man might be coming after you. Sam, the alt man. All right. Flu, I want to ask you, about WorldCoin and the orbs specifically here. If these orbs are rolled out in emerging markets, meaning third world countries, these people, some, operating on $2 a day, very, very low income, would you consider this a plus or a negative for crypto if there's mass rollout in these third world countries?
I think it gives like a +2 to charisma, but like a -2 to intelligence.
Okay, that's good.
Astrology is just as good as like technical analysis. So Marin Altman would probably be a better choice for the Joe Rogan show. And also Sam's only point in coming on that show was to shill fucking WorldCoin. So I think that we should take all of his statements through not only a grain of salt, but we should probably like do a salt bath and throw some in the water, just jump in the tub and just swim for a little bit.
Do a salt bath, not do bath salts. That is a very important distinction that we're making on this show, folks. All right. It's fine. It's fine to just have some bubbles in the bath. All right. Eric, I want to ask you, Sam, he had a little quote here. The war on crypto. That's the thing that makes me quite sad about the country. Eric, what makes... Well,
he might be bath salts.
I was going to ask Eric, what makes you sad? Now I know you can't say Cardano's price.
Okay. What makes me sad is that Joe doesn't get good crypto guests on, like Doug was saying. I hate to agree with the Packers fan on everything on this show right now, but yeah, he's right. He's 100% right. Joe, I think he's starting to understand Bitcoin a little bit more, and he's getting kind of the ethos of the whole what crypto was built on. But he hasn't had anyone since Andreas Antonopoulos on years and years and years ago. So he's desperately lacking in a good guest like that. But what makes me sad is that also that he's going to go on and he's going to shill WorldCoin a whole bunch of times, and he's going to talk to about the problems with the U.S. government against crypto. And people in crypto are going to look at that and be like, "Oh yeah, he's for crypto. He's fighting for us." But in reality, he's a snake in the grass. He's trying to get you to scan your eyeball. He's trying to give up your data and add it to his AI machine and just keep, just if you don't know what you're buying or you don't know what the product is, you are the product. They're ripping off your data and everything that you create, and he just wants to market that and get that out and make a buck off of it. That's what he wants to do. And it's clear because he's pushing WorldCoin so much. So that's what makes me sad. All
right. It makes me wonder if I show the WorldCoin or my brown eye, is that the product? I don't know. That's one for the philosophers.
I'm sure someone will buy it out there, DZ.
No. I will buy it and then burn it. All right. Let's talk about RFK here. RFK dropping out as the Democratic nominee, that is. He's not going to run as a Democrat. It looks like he's going to run third party. He just made this announcement. I want to show this byline. This is from Fox News. This was what I thought was the more telling announcement here. I remember when this happened. Kennedy said the Biden administration denied his request for Secret Service protection during the 2024 election. I know it had been pending for months and months and months, and presumably still had never given the green light there. He had a quote, "I'm here to join you and make a new declaration of independence for our entire nation. We declare independence from the corporations that have hijacked our government." He also called for unity and said that all politicians, they're getting all of us to hate each other, and it is all part of their scam. I mean, I see no lie that right there. And he also noted, like we said, in July, it was back in July, he requested Secret Service. So July, August, September, they're now moving into October, folks, there. So, all right, Moonin Papa, one, I'm kind of interested. What are your thoughts on RFK, and will he have any kind of shot if he runs independent? Can he pull a Ross Perot?
Oh, wow. He needs bigger ears.
Can I
for
finish?
one, I'm kind of surprised. I was surprised. I thought he was independent to begin with. Everything that he's saying goes against the grain of both Democratic and Republican houses, in my opinion, which is good. I hate the whole bi-party thing. I hate the fact that there are these two major political parties that are always pitted against each other, and it's always them on the other side. I think what he says a lot of the time is pretty spot on as far as identifying the money-making schemes that corporations are involved in politics, that politicians use their power for making a lot of money. I mean, how can we have people in politics, in like Nancy Pelosi, only making $150,000 a year, yet she has a jet. She has all this investment fund behind her. Like, there's something crooked in the background. So I'd love to see someone like RFK clean up the space, but does he have a chance? I mean, it's up to you. You have to sign up, and you have to vote. You have to choose, do you want to vote for this guy and actually see an independent person in office? That'd be awesome to break the cycle But is it likely? Yeah, I think it is, actually. I think he's controversial enough to sway enough people from both Democratic and Republican parties, but that's on him now. So,
yeah, I'm making a bold prediction here. Essentially, with this, he could choose the president because he could know ahead of time if he's taking more Trump voters or taking more Biden voters, presumably if it's those two. And then he could choose the president by running or not running. So I don't know. A lot of it's going to be it's definitely an interesting tidbit, interesting detail. And this plot just keeps getting crazier, folks. It's like a Spanish telenovela, as Penguins would say, or Moist Critical. Doug Hype, what are your thoughts on the DNC here? You know, they got a lot of criticism for, some say they sandbagged Bernie. Some say 4 years later, they chose Joe. And now people are saying they're not giving RFK a fair shot there. What are your thoughts on them potentially selecting the candidate?
I know, DZ, that the only reason you brought this question on this forum is because you knew I was a delegate for Bernie Sanders back in the day, all right? The idea of somebody an independent actually is correct. Thank you, DZ, for recognizing that being correct. The idea of somebody actually being independent, someone like Bernie Sanders, who, even though he might be more liberal on the left, he also reaches out to the Republicans and tries to work with them and respect them, right? So I thought that was an amazing idea. And America came out to the caucuses. I was at the caucuses talking to people, and let me tell you, like 90% of those people at the caucuses were for Bernie. No one there were really like a hardcore Hillary supporter, barely anyone. I saw it with my eyes, right? And what you saw happen that across the country, and then they kind of undermined them. The Democratic Party, because the Clintons were so embedded with them and raised so much money for people already, that they wanted them to win, which makes sense, right? They're like, hey, they're our buddy. They raise money for us. We're going to try to make them win. That's what happens in these political systems, all right? And at the same time, the independent people came out in Colorado in droves. They love the idea of an independent, somebody who's just not stuck somewhere, that someone can get something done that like makes sense to people, right? Now, I personally, DZ, do not agree with all of RFK's stances. In fact, I might not agree with any of his stances whatsoever. But the idea of running independent and shaking up the system sounds really delicious right now. Almost as delicious as my Carry the G beer. Which, if I win, I will slam this beer right now, DZ, okay? And eat my Danish Kringles. So, that is a promise to you, my buddy. This is the thing. Thank you for extra points for drinking beer. So, this is the thing, guys, you have to understand in the political sphere. It's not really what your platform is or who likes you or whatever. It's what the perception of you is. Just like Joe Rogan and all these people in the world, everyone has their own perception of who people are. And my perception of RFK is like, yes, he has an attractive wife. And yes, he's shaking it up. And yes, he's an independent. He seems cool as hell. And you might think, man, Doug, this candidate was just bred for you. Like, he was just like concocted in a laboratory somewhere for Doug Hype to get on the hype train and kick some butt. Is he a Democrat? Is he a Republican? Who knows, man? Is he real? Is he a figment of your imagination? Well, I'll tell you this, man. Like, we live in a world right now where nobody knows if up is down or down is up. You got to keep your friends close and make real relationships with people, right? If you're going to be Tony Montana, people are going to come after you. So when you're RFK, he's got to watch out for the right and the left now. It's going to be really tough, bro. Like, I'm telling you, it ain't going to be easy. If he pulls this off, it's going to be the biggest upset since, the Titanic, right? So it's not going to probably go well for him. It's going to go really poorly, but we can get behind this. Maybe we can use this to push forth more independent thinking, more crypto-centric stuff. Maybe we can get the U.S. government to be a little bit smarter. Maybe we can get the financial systems to be a little bit more independent. And I know that we can all unify around that in crypto, and then we can go on Joe Rogan and talk about it, baby.
All right. Well, speaking of the U.S. government, Flu, my lead up to you is, would anything change if he won? He did buy, I think, each of his 7 children 2 Bitcoin. Should have bought them all 1 apiece, gave me 7. But he's clearly pro Bitcoin, pro, crypto on some level. Would any of that translate to anything real world?
I mean, I think that your first question, I'm so glad that you rewrote it, that you asked to Moonin Papa, because please don't ever, and I saw this on the paper, don't ever say RFK and shot at the presidency in the same sentence ever again.
Whoa. No. We're talking about his chances to ascend, Yeah, I didn't mean to peel anyone's top back with that one. I mean...
Yeah, no.
Look,
I think that also
that wasn't great either.
Chances to ascend also probably questionable.
Yeah, no, yeah, also not great. Let's get this wheel roll. Oh man, that's not good.
I think
Grassy knoll. I don't know what I'm saying at this point.
The two-party system is a farce, and both parties are part of a shadow cabal of just Cardano investors. Eric is in on it. And then RFK will at least get conversation going on crypto within the race. Win overall for crypto, but like, is it going to change anything if he wins? He's not going to win. He's not going to win. There's no fucking chance that he wins because of the two-party system. Two-party system is just the banks. And so the only system that we ever need to actually change is that banking system. And the way that we change it is by creating our own. And that's what we've been working on in this space for this whole time. A lot of people think that they need to have a fancy PFP, or they need to have an ape, or they need to have a Nakamigo, or they need to have whatever. None of that shit fucking matters. None of it. Absolutely none of it. The thing that actually matters about crypto is that we own our own finances and that we own the payment rails that we're able to transact on. Like Web 1 was read only. You could get on there as a consumer. You could see what was written by others. Web 2 was like read and write. And you could go on there and you could say things that didn't fucking matter, and you could read things that didn't fucking matter. Now, Web 3, that's read, write, and transact. And that's the first time that we've actually had ownership of our payment rails, and we haven't had to go out to the PayPal mafia to keep on doing this. This is why I'm so bullish on the Web3 social media that's going on, because like anytime that you're in this monetization sort of scheme with TikTok, YouTube, anything, it's just a matter of like, oh, well, which one of these corporate overlords do I want to support today? Which multinational corporation do I want to click on their fucking ads today? It's all bullshit. Everything is bullshit. The only way that it matters is you're doing it with your friends. No fucking algorithm. No fucking bullshit with like, oh, I'm paying TikTok this, I'm paying Twitter Blue this, I'm paying for a check mark this. I don't need a fucking check mark. I just want to hang out with my friends.
All right. Sorry for the children at home. Flu. We normally don't drop. We have a limit per minute. I think we're 20x past that. Good, great talks though. Really great thought. There's nothing I honestly disagree with there. I could do another RFK pun. We're not going to do that though. We're going to move forward here. We're going to keep it moving. Eric. Well, let's not. Look, too soon. It's too soon. Eric, I want to ask you. Let's say this does happen. He does end up running. There's no way it's going to be 50% of his voters were going to be on the left, 50% were going to be on the right. He's going to hurt one of the parties more than the other. Which party is he going to hurt the most?
Well, he definitely hurts the Democrats the most. I mean, no doubt about it. If you're a Democrat and you jump ship, you're pulling more from that Democrat base than you are going to pull from the Republican base. That's just how it is. Now, if he decides on running and he goes with the Libertarian Party, if the Libertarian Party is willing to open up to him, I think that could be a really interesting turn where maybe he does pull a little bit more from the Republicans, just because there's a large, libertarian element in the Republican Party. It's been that way ever since Rand Paul started it in 2008 and then really continued it in 2012. And a lot of Republicans, like myself, I'm still technically a registered Republican. I haven't voted for a Republican president since 2008 when I voted for John McCain. And then I learned about Rand Paul, and then I became much more libertarian thinking. And then, of course, that leads right into Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency ethos that, hey, we need sovereignty. We need control over our own finances. We don't need other people telling us what we can and can't do. We can go out there and do things, make our own decisions, be held accountable for our own decisions, and then reap the rewards and the benefits of those decisions. Or, you got to pay the consequences of making bad decisions. That's kind of what I love about crypto. It's the total free market. It is, you are responsible for what you do. You got to take ownership of what you do. We're going to look it up on the blockchain and see that you're, having ownership of whatever you say and do. So if RFK does end up going for the Libertarian Party, I think someone that popular can coalesce a lot of people on the left, a lot of people on the right, and then maybe even get the Libertarian Party's act together and make them kind of all vote together, because historically they can't get their act together. They're worse than the Republicans at getting their act together. So, if that happens, then I think it's a little bit different story. But if he just goes independent or like Green Party or something, I don't think he's going to pull from the Republicans nearly as much.
Somewhere Ralph Nader's like, hey, remember me? I was in the Green Party. Eric, if RFK ran today, would you vote for him?
Depends. If he was running against Vivek, I would vote for Vivek.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of Vivek Ramaswamy, but if it's between Orange Man, Dead Old Man, and RFK, I would vote for RFK. Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, RFK is actually my second choice after Vivek, same as me. Flu, would you vote for RFK if he was running today?
I would vote for DFK.
Okay. Doug Hype, would you vote for RFK if he was voting or running today?
I'm voting for a goddamn Bernie Sanders, man. I'm going to have some knit gloves, and I'm going to sit in a chair. I'm going to sit outside the voting center and be like, bro, let's work together.
Yeah, make a new meme.
Arms. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, man, he says he's a Democrat, but he's really not. He all the Republicans in New Hampshire and Vermont vote for the bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a for real bro. You know what I'm saying? He's a bro.
Flu follow-up question. Who would you rather run the country, Peter Thiel or RFK?
RFK.
RFK over Peter Thiel. Just wondering, is it the blood boy? The blood boy throws you off?
A little bit.
I don't know if allegedly he has a blood boy, folks. All right, check it out. It's on Silicon Valley. They make fun of it. All right, well, that is all we have time for. I thought it was going to be a two-way tie. Eric just brought the heat. Secretly, he told me he's supportive of Vivek in a message, so I sandbagged. I just gave him a whole bunch of points there.
How dare you let a Bear fan win, DZ?
We were about to see
win something,
some
Doug.
chugging.
We got to win something.
You know, that's a shame.
Shadowy cabal of Cardano investors is fucking confirmed. I'm telling you right now, I'm done with these hats today. Cardano always wins. I'm tired of this shit. Fucking Eric, you look just like Charles. You look like his fucking stupid cousin or something, bro. Like, what's going on there?
And Flu, I'll pay you the 2 Solana. Let me make sure the chain's on. It's on. All right, I'll send you that 2 Solana ASAP. Eric, though, you ended up taking it home. Feel free. Leave us with some parting thoughts, sir.
Yeah, guys, I would say this. You need to develop yourself a really nice kind of crypto thesis. Take a look at what the different cryptocurrencies do, what you think that they're going to do in the future, if they're going to survive. Once you have that understanding, then take a look at those different coins and start, degenning and deciding what you want to invest in. I think that as we're getting ready for the bull market, we need to be very responsible about how we push different projects, and we should be responsible in how we kind of market ourselves to the rest of the world, because we're still early. Most of the world hasn't joined on to crypto yet. So.
All right. And guys, make sure you check out the links down below. We got all the people down here. Their links are going to be down there. Flu's never been on. Look at his name, folks. DeFi Null Fantasy. Great name. You got to follow it just for that. Moonin Papa, only second time he's been on. Make sure you show him some love. Check it out below. And a big shout out to Linqto, enabling you to invest like an accredited investor, just being a normal Joe, just like me. But that's all we got time for. We'll be back tomorrow. Well, we're going to be streaming on 2 different channels, but then moving to the main channel starting next week. Go Cowboys. No go Texans. Go Oilers.
Yeehaw.
Shout out to Warren Moon. That's all we got.
Ready for hockey season. Go
Packers. Let's go.
Wrong Oilers.